plant dies on me, I'm going to be very sad. Now is the time to do this when no one's making any noise. 12:30 a.m. or later. Got here and I just wanted to watch Inside Edition, and they don't. I thought I would have to miss Inside Edition every night for a week or two, but because they only have satellite TV. I remember that happening 5 years ago too, where it didn't get certain stations or something, or it had different things. But I was able to go to the lobby, and lo and behold, the lobby had the same thing that I have at home, and had the same channels. And normally Inside Edition's on twice, and I had to watch it late. I was almost falling asleep because I missed it earlier. I was in a panic. I'm like, where's Inside Edition? Where is it? Where is it? And you don't have this. It's on a main station, like NBC and ABC are main stations, and it's because it's not my Comcast. It's something different, and it might have the main stations, but it has some different things on them. So the guy helping my contractor accidentally shot himself in the eye with a nail. Something happened, a nail went in his eye. This has just been the insurance claim from hell. But that should tell you how just arbitrary life is. How things can just happen like that. How it's just so like. He could have had to be rushed to the emergency. He could have had it go straight in his eyeball, and he would have been blinded for life on one eye. As it is, who knows what's going to happen. It went to the side of his eye, but it did go in his eye. A nail. I mean, at the very least, he's going to have to do like a corneal ulcer, like with a patch and drops and all that pain in the ass stuff. My mom was calling me today, but I didn't know it was her because it was coming from a weird number, and it was her roommate's, I guess, roommate's phone, or roommate's family member visiting, or their phone, or something or other. I don't know. The fact is, it was a strange number, and I didn't know who it was. And, you coming? You coming? Yeah, Mom, I'm gonna come. I'm exhausted. Even though it would be nice to skip a day after today was so exhausting. I did something so stupid, but I was explaining to my contractor and the plumber and the new guy I met who was really nice, and that's why I'm all upset. And I was so sorry that happened to me. It's like, it's not your fault. It goes with the territory, it goes with the job. I know. People in that line of work can lose hands, can lose limbs, can lose, He shot himself in the eye somehow with a nail. Freak accident happening in my home with this insurance claim from hell. And then, surprise, surprise, I'm not surprised. They found a whole bunch of water damage under that vanity. Stuff you can't know ahead of time. And then, surprise, surprise, my adjuster was like, well, that's probably not going to be covered by insurance. That could be from something else. And whatever, I'll just pay it out of pocket. My contract had me scared. Like, was it going to be like $1,000? He's like, it's not going to be that much. But you're still supposed to report it. The air's going out. I guess it has to make sure the room stays at the temperature it's set at. If it gets, I don't know how it get. I don't know what's going on. This isn't a vacation, okay? People think it's a vacation. My contractor's like, you're gonna go in the pool. You're gonna have a little vacation. It's not a vacation. I'm a nervous wreck. I am all upset, even though, of course, it's not my fault, but it's horrifying to me. This guy could have been blinded in my home, and as it is, he could seriously get an infection. He could have to have just a lot of, just like that. A nail went to his eye. I mean, oh my God. That's how life is. That's how life is. It's just so bizarre. The weirdness of life is why there are a lot of people, not most, but there are a significant percentage of people who don't believe that. They believe we're here by chance, that there's no afterlife, there's no God, there's no whatever. But life is really, really strange. Even inside edition, I mean, even these conjoined twins, Abby and Brittany, just as an aside, you see them and okay, of course, trolls are gonna make all, snide comments or whatever. It's possible, it's maybe even probable that these conjoined twins, first of all, they have each other, okay? The parents opted to not separate them because it was highly unlikely that both would survive. So they didn't want to have one die and kill one. So they have each other, but of course they're viewed as being, the F word. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to say it, but they're viewed as being that. And now they've gotten married. Well, one of them got married, but now it's two of them. And you have to wonder about the guy. I'm sorry, but you do. You have to wonder a little bit. So he gets to have intimate with both of them, but they have a life, and they teach school, and now I guess they're gonna be being married, and I'm sure trolls do have a lot to say about that. Deborah Norman in that edition was like, now the question is, you think they're gonna have children? I don't know. It's very strange. It's all strange. It's all the bizarreness of life. Life is strange, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even your walls matter. Your fantasies don't matter. You can throw them out the window. You can throw your life. You can throw your life out the window. Blah 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 blah. Everything he did. Such insight. Such whatever. And he had to turn out to be an abusive monster. He's supposed to be my soulmate. He's so like, seemed like he got it, and he was just, all a lie. Now I have to be alone. I'm too angry. Too angry. Inside edition was worth it. I was falling asleep almost down there. I had to go to the lobby, but at least I was like, this is not a vacation, and now I have to miss my Inside Edition every night for weeks, possibly. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know. Maybe my contractor was planning on this guy helping him every day, and that's not gonna happen now. He shot himself in the eye with a nail. I'm like, you gotta be more careful. How did you do that? I didn't witness it. I found out after the fact. But still, that wouldn't have happened if my contractor had kept his thing where he was just gonna be him. But they picked up my entire computer desk and computer. I would have unhooked everything, and then I would have needed my contractor, that friend who wanted to meet me, and that would have been awkward. They picked up my entire computer desk, and everything's still all plugged in. Together they could do it. They could just pick up the entire thing and stick it in my mother's bedroom. So I'll be able to just plug stuff back in. If it was all unhooked, I wouldn't know how to do it. But I can plug stuff back in. They didn't unplug anything except from the wall. Because two men could do that. They could carry the entire desk with the computer and the monitor and the stereo system and everything all intact. All intact. They just left it all, my external hard drives, everything. That's what happens if you have two men who can carry it all very carefully. Unreal. So now I don't have to worry about that, because I really don't want to meet his friend, the one, not when he was the one who wanted to meet me. I like those crazy bitches, No, you might think you like those crazy bitches, but you have no idea. Reality is a lot different. Trying to make this neutral. It doesn't mean somebody might not be able to figure out, but even if you figured out where I stayed, it doesn't mean it could be more than one. It could be anywhere with the same decor. picked up my entire computer system before I even realized what they were doing. I got to witness it all. They go fast. They go fast. So the damage under the vanity is only going to be, my contract had me scared because he's just like, I found all this stuff. For all I know, he's going to say it's $1,000. But I'm like, if the insurance doesn't cover it, and they likely won't, I talked to my adjuster. He never thinks they're going to cover it. They likely won't cover it. So I said, if it's not caused by that's the only reason I discovered the burst pipe in the first place. Speaking of which, we need to sell this place. It's good. It's too ridiculous. Why was it all water under the vanity? Where was that coming from? There was no leak to speak of. Was it something? Did they do shoddy work 5 years ago? It's quite possible. Has it been leaking like forever? Who knows? It's probably not going to be covered, but it's not going to be like that much. Only like a few hundred. A few hundred I don't have, but you know, what else is new? Got to do what you got to do. I didn't end up. I forgive myself for this under the circumstances because everything's so stressful. It's just been ongoing stress with this insurance claim, house from hell, okay? I forgot. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to come over here until, like, later, okay? Check-in was late afternoon. I knew I couldn't come over till later. I was like, I have all day. I have hours to do nothing but those dishes. No, you forgot, Laura, that they're going to shut the water off. So I didn't get to do the dishes. I did some of them. The water had to be shut off. And I started, until I ran out of time, I was doing them with vinegar. My contractor, of course, because again, we're buddies, and he's teasing me, and he's like, why didn't you do these dishes? I was here a week ago. You said you were going to, I know, but I cleaned my house spotless. Everything is spotless except for the dishes because they overwhelm me. So I didn't end up doing them. My contractor's just trying to protect me. He's worried about mold. There's not going to be any mold. These dishes have been sitting for several weeks and there's no mold. Most of them, there's hardly anything on them. You know, I did like rinse them and stuff. So, you know, I ran out of time. They had to shut the water off. Guy from the Chiefs who won that, you know, they're like rich and they're drag racing, and they could have killed this mother and her kid, and they took off like a hit and run. It's so disgusting. It's just like many years ago, decades ago, whatever, in California, I learned about something called silent running, and that's when police cars will drag race. They were drag racing down Venice Boulevard, and they killed somebody. I found this out because I was walking like I always did with me and Omar everywhere for miles, and I saw a thing, and it talked about silent running, and we did a protest in front of a march in front of the police station. I think it was I don't know if it was, whatever it was. We did a march, and it was called silent running, where the person doesn't have a chance to survive because the police speed down the road and they shut off. They don't have their lights or sirens or anything, and they killed a woman. She was coming home from work, and now these these football stars that are filthy rich and famous and this, that, whatever. No regard for regular people, and they went drag racing. It sickened me. They went drag racing, and they hit cars, and then they think they're above the law, and they just take off. And then the ones was being, this woman was sucker punched, and she has permanent jaw damage. She was sucker punched, and it was really bad. It dislocated her jaw. She was telling Inside Edition, Double Normal, or whatever, that she's probably going to be permanent. And the guy was let off on no bail, so he can go and sucker punch more women. And they all going to be let off. They're just all going to be let off so they can just go around, you know. I can't imagine living like that, the women in New York City, where they have to worry about some random guys, it's more than one, just belting them. And again, this woman was bad off. Some just get a bruise, some get, you know, this woman got, I got to see her, so she's not making it up. She got a dislocated jaw. It's going to be like permanent damage. Permanent damage. And she has to live with the fact that the guy did that to her, and he was released, no bail, to go and do it to more women. I mean, it's out of nowhere. It's unprovoked. You know, how do you even prevent it? You know, you can't. Like this woman said, this woman on Inside Edge, like, he might go to do it to someone else, or it could happen to me again. You're right, it could. It could. All of these weird things in this life. Just on my property, on my home. This guy I just met today was so nice. And now he could have been blinded. He could have rushed to the emergency. It's just, but that goes with the territory of doing any kind of contract work, contracting. We always hear things about someone, you can lose a limb, you can lose an eye, you can, you know, it's just a freak accident, nail went in his eye. I'll probably never meet him again. Originally, my contractor was going to do it all himself. He decided not to, but now this guy got hurt. He's not going to be coming back. Church woman heard about that. She's like, that's awful. And she's trying to tell him, you know, you have to take that seriously. You have to go immediately make an emergency appointment with an eye doctor and get it all checked out. A nail. The guy could have been blinded. As it is, even this would happen. It's just, this is an insurance claim from hell. It just is. And this is not a vacation. It's a real nice. It has nothing to do with being nice. It has to do with me, you know, it's not a vacation. I don't want to be here. And you know, it's not a vacation. I'm making the best of it. We have to sell that place. Remember, it wasn't just the one burst pipe. One came right after, not long. Not that many months after. Whatever. And that one, it didn't want to be an insurance claim, but it could have. There could be more going on right now that we don't even know about. You don't even know until the floor is buckling. And the floor is buckling, just like Deja Vu from 5 years ago, right in front of the vanity. And my public adjuster is going to try to say that whatever's happening under the vanity is not a part of, it's not from. He contradicts himself all the time, drives me nuts. He told me before, when he thought he saw dollar signs. Remember when he thought that my dishwasher had flooded my home and he had a broken water detector he never apologized for. But he explained to me these places, the water can go everywhere. And now suddenly he's going to try to say, oh, it's not from that. I'm so sick of it. Good, I'll pay it out of pocket. It'll be just a few hundred. It's not the point. The point is, it is from that. What the hell else is it from? And the insurance should cover it, even if it's a few hundred. It's a few hundred that I don't fucking have. I'm just sick of everything, okay? sick of it all. I'm sick of it all. We can just keep having burst pipe after burst pipe. This was living. This was just hell. And it can happen again. 5 years ago, right when we came back, not long after, we had another burst pipe, another burst pipe. It's just, it went down, so it didn't, you know. It just depends on where it is. The place is too old. We have to sell it. We've got to get out of there. It's just, you know. It all needs to be redone underneath. Maybe if someone buys it, they can afford to redo it underneath. Someone sold the place in that near us or whatever, and before the people moved in, they did a shitload of work on it. Okay, all the piping probably needs to be redone, so you don't keep having this shit happen. It's just gonna keep happening. It's just all hell. My mom was realizing that before she got sick. No, she was. She was telling Joe. She was telling Joe about it. That means she was realizing it. She was. The Inside Edition was worth watching. It had the co-joined twins, and that's just weird. But, you know, why shouldn't they get to have love and sex and whatnot? You know? But he can't marry both of them. He technically marries one, and the other one is, it's just, it's all weird. He has a daughter. I wonder how she feels about that. He has like a grade school daughter. She's not like 2 years old or something. It showed the daughter, but it blurbed out her face. He has a daughter that's probably in grade school, but based on what I was seeing in the outline, he's like, and she apparently lives with him. So I don't know how's she gonna feel about her dad marrying these co-joined twins? It's just weird. I don't know. This is nice. Brought a lot of food with me, plus stopped at the market and spent all this time.